All set. Don't have to do anything there. All we have to do is change this. So do a letter fold for 8.5 by 11. We come over here at 8.5 by 11, E and E. So we just come up here and move this down to E. I go a little bit under it. Over on this side I do the same thing. There's E and there's the next black notch. Then I come over here and I do the same thing again. Move it to E, and then I bring it in with this. A little bit under. Come over here, a little bit under. Now it should be pretty close to a letter fold. Now I'm going to move this bar down here up where it says 3 5/8. I try to get it straight across. Also, paper tends to build up with static, especially copy sheets, and this is a little static that goes across there, and it's bless you, it's held by magnets. You want to check and make sure it's not in the way. So we're ready to start.
Oh, wait. This one need to move it to where?
I've already moved it. This right here I've already moved.
Okay.
There's a, right up here is a wire. See it? It's in my fingers. That takes static out of the paper as it brushes by it. Okay, let's start. I put the paper in there, air, vacuum. 3 sheets. Pretty far off. The first one needs to be less. Pretty much right on the money. So you got the first one in and then the second one. Pretty good fold. If you want it any closer than that, you just keep tweaking these adjustments up here. If it's uneven, also, if you put pressure on this and change it, you'll have to reset these. If you run the speed up much, you have to reset the folds. And that's pretty much all the folds we do is 8.5 by 11 and 8.5 by 14. You can do custom folds too, you know, if it's lesser or more, but you're limited a little bit as how far these can come in because of this airline right here. It won't come in any closer than here, so right there. And this one will come over to here, which makes it kind of off center. So what I've done before is move this one over this way, move this one in as far as it'll go. So you're kind of about the widest sheet you can fold is about right there. It's this distance right here. That's about 5.5 or so, I think. Very seldom will you have to do that though. This right here you'll never need to use, but you can. You put it at the back of the sheet if you're going to load it and walk off from it while it's folding. This keeps them from bouncing back. So you put the stack in there. You put your stack in, and you don't want to come any higher than here with your stack. If you have a real high stack, you can put this down to here and kind of put it right there. And as it's running, it keeps the air from pushing them out. So it'll keep them in place. I don't use it anymore because it's faster for me to put my hand here and hold them down a little bit and run it. But you got to be real careful if you get your finger in this. It's spinning, and it will chew the end of your finger up. So you want to be very careful with that. And you need to make sure you're careful with this. If you have this turned down too far, when you start it, it'll chew up the end of it. And these can be replaced. And I think I have a couple of them somewhere to put there. They're just glued on there. And that's the folder. It requires very little maintenance other than that. And when you get good at it, you can make changes on the folder pretty quickly.